All right, if you've ever used an AI, I'm sure you know the feeling. That frustration when a really great idea in your head turns into a pretty meh response from the machine. Well, today, we're going to look at a tool called PromptQuorum that says it can solve that. For good. It's all about turning those fuzzy, rough ideas into super sharp, precise instructions that gets you the results you actually wanted in the first place.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You've got this brilliant idea, you type it into ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and what you get back is just, okay. It's bland, it's generic, it totally misses the point. And then you're stuck in that endless loop of tweaking and rephrasing and trying again. But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't actually the AI? What if it's the prompt? And this slide just nails the core problem. On the left, you've got your typical lazy prompt, something super vague like write me a blog post. And no surprise, on the right, you get the totally predictable result, a bland, generic article that's, let's be honest, pretty much useless. It's that classic saying, garbage in, garbage out. But what if you could take that garbage prompt and engineer it into a professional-grade instruction before you even hit send?
So, this brings us to PromptQuorum's first killer feature, automatic prompt perfection. The whole idea here is to break that frustrating cycle of just guessing and trying again. It's about time we start treating our prompts like what they really are, engineered instructions.
Okay, so let's go back to our little lazy prompt. It's just a few words, right? No context, no detail. This is our raw material. Think of it as a lump of clay. PromptQuorum's job is to take this lump and shape it using a real blueprint for success.
So what happens under the hood is pretty cool. PromptQuorum takes that simple line and uses its own AI to basically supercharge it. It automatically expands on the context, it defines a very specific role for the AI to play, it tells it the exact format for the output, and it even throws in some quality constraints. It literally turns a vague wish into a detailed, actionable blueprint. And boom, this right here is the first real aha moment. On the left, you see our original, sad little prompt. But on the right, that's the optimized version. It has been completely, automatically restructured using a professional framework called CRAFT. And that stands for context, role, action, format, and target. See, this isn't a guess anymore. This is a professional-grade instruction, and it's built to get you a professional-grade result.
And to make this even more tangible, the app actually scores the effectiveness of your prompt. So you might start out with, say, a quality score of maybe 25%. But after PromptQuorum does its thing, you can watch it jump up to something like 95%. It's this really clear visual feedback that gives you confidence that, yeah, this instruction is ready to go.
Okay, so now we have a perfectly engineered prompt. We're feeling good. Problem solved, right? Well, that actually brings up another, even bigger question.
So even with a prompt that's basically perfect, can you really truly trust the answer you get back from just one AI, especially if it's for something important? I mean, every single one of these models has its own quirks, its own biases, its own blind spots, and yeah, that potential to hallucinate, to just totally make things up. And this is where PromptQuorum rolls out its second and maybe even more game-changing feature.
Instead of sending that amazing, perfectly engineered prompt to just one AI, PromptQuorum blasts it out to a whole panel of top-tier models, all at the same time. With one single click, it's on its way to the heavyweights. We're talking ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, you name it.
Now, this is what's called the Quorum method. It's a pretty brilliant idea. The app gathers up all of those different responses, and then it uses AI to analyze them against each other. It's looking for one thing. Where do they all agree? And, just as important, where do they disagree? The end goal is to synthesize the single, most robust, most reliable answer from the whole group.
And this is what that looks like in action. It's really our second aha moment. You get this super clear side-by-side comparison. You can see right away, okay, ChatGPT and Gemini both agree on this key fact, so you've got a strong consensus there. But what's maybe even more valuable is that you'll see a big red flag where, say, another model completely disagrees. This isn't just a bunch of data anymore. This is actual intelligence. It's how you spot those AI hallucinations and get real confidence in your final answer.
All right, so with all this talk about sending your ideas and analyzing data, a big alarm bell is probably going off in your head right now: privacy. And yeah, that's a huge concern. But this is where PromptQuorum makes a really strong and, frankly, a very different stand.
The app's commitment to privacy is dead simple. It collects absolutely nothing. Zero. It runs 100% locally, right on your own computer.
There's no telemetry, no analytics, none of that. Your prompts, your ideas, your API keys, they never, ever leave your machine until you hit the button to send them out.
You have to understand, this isn't just some feature they bolted on. It's a fundamental part of its design. It's all built on this bring your own model idea. That means you provide your own API keys, you control all the access, and your work stays your work. Period. In the AI world today, that level of user control is, well, it's incredibly rare. So, when you put these two big pieces together, that automatic prompt engineering and the multimodal analysis, it does more than just tweak one part of your process. It actually creates an entirely new and much smarter workflow for getting reliable answers from AI.
It really boils down to this powerful 4-step flow. 1, you draft your rough idea. 2, you let the app optimize it into a precision instruction. 3, you dispatch it to your panel of AIs. And 4, you analyze all their answers to find that confident, consensus-driven conclusion. You're not just asking a question anymore, you're turning your computer into a full-blown intelligence platform.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Look, for the simple, everyday questions, maybe one AI is totally fine. But when the stakes are actually high, when you're making a real business decision, or doing serious research, or creating something that really matters, ask yourself this. Would you rather bet it all on the opinion of a single expert, or would you rather have a consensus of an entire panel?